Welcome back to Love to Live in the Temecula Valley. I am your host, Catherine Materiali. If you are thinking about relocating to Menifee, or you're just kind of exploring this area, but you've seen some of these neighborhood names and you don't really know which one's which, and you don't know where they are, and you don't know how they all fit together, well, I have got your solution today. Make sure to stick around, and we're going to have a lot of fun. If you're exploring Menifee and you're starting your home search and you're just trying to understand how the neighborhoods all fit together or where they are in relation to everything else, then this is going to help you out. Make sure to like this video, and if you haven't already, please do subscribe, because I am delivering videos just like this and so much more, including tours of new construction if that's something that you're interested in. And we would just love for you to be able to absorb all of that content. So let's dive in. Today, we're just going to do a very simple, tactical map tour video. It's you, it's me, it's a map. We're going to use a mouse and we're going to click around, and I'm going to show you, as somebody who's here and driving around all of these areas every single day, where things are at. I cannot possibly address every single neighborhood, so I'm just going to touch on some of the main ones that you probably would have seen that neighborhood mentioned on one of those big websites. Are you ready? Let's do this. Okay, so if you didn't watch my video last week, please do. Maybe watch that one first, because in that video, I talk about kind of how Menifee is laid out overall compared to the cities around, and the 215 and the 15 and east and west and all of that. Once you've watched that, come back to this one, or you can keep staying with me. I like you hanging with me. But I talk about how we have kind of East Menifee and then West Menifee, simply because West is heading towards the hills and the ocean, not the actual. I wish. Our prices would be a heck of a lot different, though, and I'm guessing that's why you're checking out Menifee, because of how much more affordable it is. Am I right? I know I am. Anyway, so if we are going up the 215, so Menifee borders Murrieta. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of, this may seem a little odd, I'm going to go up with you here, up on the east side, and then we're going to come back down on the west side. So rather than kind of south to north, since I talk about west and east, let's start with the east. Okay, so Scott Road is the start of Menifee here, but actually it's kind of, you have this neighborhood. This is Murrieta, okay? This is Mapleton. And then right after Mapleton, right here is where Menifee starts. So you've got Berkshire here. I've sold homes for clients in this neighborhood. This community was built by KB. Gosh, was it like 2005-ish, I think it was. I remember it's a lot of, like, these are all mineral based street names, but that's Berkshire. I wouldn't say like this is like one of the main ones, but it's like the start. This is a cool neighborhood. This is J Bar Ranch. So here you have your typical tract homes, pretty, standard. And then here, these homes are all custom built. They all have property. You've got some really cool character and neat houses in there. So that if that's your vibe, really fun neighborhood to check out. And it may not pop up in your search, but if you live here, you know. And then off of Scott Road here, they've done so much. Menifee is one of the fastest growing cities in the nation. And there has been so much new construction, which is why a lot of people have gone this way and maybe gone a little bit further than Murrieta and Temecula, because the housing prices are a little bit more affordable, and there's so many beautiful newer homes. But there's also a lot of established homes and a lot of properties that have a lot of land. So it's quite diverse. We don't really have a luxury market here. There are, higher end executive style tract homes, but luxury is not really really the thing. Menifee is really more low key, down to earth, laid back type of deal. So back to neighborhoods. So along Scott Road, let's see here, Menifee Road. So Meritage built a really cool neighborhood along here. And again, there's other neighborhoods around. I'm just going to point out a few. So Sumac Ridge, they built along here. I remember the big thing on that was RV parking and bigger lots. That was kind of what a lot of clients were really interested in for that. And then if you keep going, again, there's so many other different neighborhoods, but Garbani and El Centro, I'm just looking for, here we go. Okay, whoop, I zoomed out too much. So right back here, Richmond American built a community called Breverty, and some beautiful homes in there of various sizes. It's really close to the new Liberty High School, which is beautiful. I mean, it looks like a junior college, honestly. So that's a really cool one. And then let's see here. If we were to go up Menifee Road. Okay, so right here, a lot of this kind of was developed over the years, and there's been kind of new pockets of new construction put in there. Pulte built in there, some other builders built in there. Gosh, I forget what they're called because I don't do rentals, but they built a whole community right here. There was this vacant land forever. They graded it, then it sat there forever. And then they built these kind of patio homes there that are for rent. Not your best resource for that, but if you're looking for like a newer home and rentals, just know that that's there, okay? And they are owned by that builder, by the way. It's not like individuals own them and rent them out. You rent the house instead of renting an apartment or a condo or something like that. So back to this neighborhood though. So coming up from Antelope Road runs parallel to the freeway. And then you come up Menifee Road. Menifee Road is one of the main roads that cuts through all of Menifee on that side. This area here is called Rolling Hills. Where am I at? Menifee and Garbani. Yeah. So Rolling Hills is over here. And there's other little tracks in there as well. And then if you carry on along Holland, this right here is a really neat community called Centennial. I had one particular couple and she was obsessed. That is where she wanted to live. And we found them the coolest house in there, but there's like a sports park right in the center of it. No amenities other than the sports park, but it is a really pretty neighborhood. And they even have like a next gen model in there. But that's a great neighborhood as well. And then you have, let's see here. So you've got Menifee Lakes, and then you have the lakes. I want to point this out. And I have videos. There's a playlist I have called On Site with Catherine. And I've done a video on each of them, as well as Heritage Lake. Watch those, because when people hear lakes, they'll kind of lump these two in, but it's really important to know Menifee Lakes is an older community. The HOA is a lot less. They do have some neat amenities, but it's different than the lakes. The taxes are a heck of a lot lower. The lakes, which is over here, is a cluster, different clusters of gated neighborhoods, but they're all the lakes, and they have an amazing amenities, but the HOA is a lot higher. And the taxes are higher as well. So your buying power is going to be very different. So that's important to know. It really just depends on your need. And then right here next to it, there's a newer community called Rockport Ranch. And that one was built by Lennar. And then right up here, there is, oh, actually, where am I at? Am I going too far? No, I'm good. So right over here, there is a community that they are building right now called Banner Park 2. Banner Park 1 is right here, right on the other side. And that was kind of built around that COVID era, that pandemic era. But now that Pulte is building the Banner Park 2, the second portion of that. That's a fantastic neighborhood. I have some clients under contract for the Visionary in that neighborhood right now, and they are beyond excited to be moving here from LA. So we talked about the lakes. We talked about Menifee Lakes. We talked about Banner Park 1 and 2. Let's talk about a couple of 55 plus communities over here. My goodness. If you or somebody you know is wanting to look into 55 plus communities in this area, I would love to help you. There are so many different options and at different budgets, and you can absolutely pick my brain on that. There are so many, though, I can't possibly point them all out to you in this video. So I'm just going to point out a few to give you a little teaser. So right here off of Newport Road, which is like the main road off the 215 that feeds into Menifee, okay? The first one is Scott Road. Then you have Newport Road. Right here off of Newport Road, you have there's a shopping center here. You have a little community called Palma. And then right next to it, you have the Oasis, which is this big doozy right here. And they've got some beautiful views. The golf course is right here, which is a public golf course, by the way. It's not for the Oasis. It's actually Menifee Lakes, and anybody can go there. But the Oasis is a guard-gated community, and there are some beautiful homes in there. And then if you continue up this way, this is a neighborhood called Barrington Heights. There's some really pretty homes in there. And let's see what else. Oh, let's go over this way. If you were to come up Menifee Road this way, or remember we talked about Banner. Whoop, sorry, guys. We talked about Banner Park 1 and 2 off of, this is Lindenberger. So up Menifee Road or Lindenberger, you hit Simpson, and then Heritage Lake starts here. And you've got this big neighborhood master plan community. It's not old, actually, with some beautiful homes. And you've got the lake there. There's the community pool. There's little boats you can rent. There's tons. I had this one client, and she loves to run. So it was really important for her to be in a neighborhood where, as a single gal, she had a safe place to go run. And so she loves it there. Tons of paths that are perfect for going running. You can fish in that lake. I could go on and on and on. Anyway, that's where Heritage Lake is. Make sure to watch my On-Site with Catherine video about it, and you can get more info. And then let's see what else here. If you go, so the next exit is McCall, right after Newport Road. And again, there's lots of other neighborhoods here. Let's see here. We have the medical center over here. And then there's a neighborhood over here called Shadow Mountain, which, if I'm remembering correctly, that one was KB. But there's some really beautiful homes over there too. And then if you continue up the 15, the next exit is Ethonac. Now, I'm not going to point out any particular neighborhood here, but what I will tell you is if you're off of Ethonac, it's a mixture. There's new construction that has been kind of put in pockets there. Like I have some clients that live right over by the little water park. Yes, there's a cool little water park over there, and it's really affordable, great place to take the kids. But also, there's manufactured homes. There are properties where they have land and they built their own homes. So it's kind of a mixture of what's there. Now, we are going to pop over to the other side of the freeway. And here at Ethonac is right on the border of Menifee and Paris, okay? So if you kind of come down Ethonac and you go down Getz, and if you watch any of my other videos, my last one, I kind of tease you a little bit. People always want to call it Goats, but it's Getz, okay? So act like a local and call it Getz. There you go. That's my little tip. This is Paris right here, okay? P-E-R-R-I-S, not P-A-R-I-S. So this is Paris. But if you continue this way, right, let me see here. So off of Thornton and Getz, they have built a really cool community called Cimarron Ridge. In my new construction videos, I have a collection. They've finished off a lot of it. There are still some of the larger homes, but they are getting ready to open up another neighborhood. These have all been built by Pulte. There's also a beautiful 55 plus community I've sold several homes in now. That's by Dell, which is Pulte. Pulte, Dell, and Centex are all under the same umbrella. But Cimarron Ridge is a fantastic master plan community. So you have, when people kind of think of this area, a lot of the times they think, because this is like technically Sun City, Sun City is Menifee. Menifee absorbed Sun City. A lot of people think it's only 55 plus, and it's just not true. There is a lot of 55 plus there with all sorts of options, but it's not all that there is, okay? So heading from Cimarron Ridge, let's talk about Sun City. So Sun City Civic is a huge area, and they've got, it's low taxes, it's low HOA, they've got multiple pools to choose from, and clubs and activities and Bowling Green, and so much to do. You can be as social or as antisocial as you want, and there is no wrong answer. You be you, but just know you have options. And there's all sorts of other wonderful communities within this area. But Sun City Civic is one you'll probably see pop up in your searches when you're looking at 55 plus. If you continue down Marietta Road, so when I am showing people around here, I intentionally, even though I could pop across on McCall and then get on the 215, I actually intentionally bring people down Marietta Road, which is great. Like, my mom hates to do freeways. She really only likes to do back roads. So just know you have a lot of options for that if you don't want to get on the freeway, okay? So I would take them down to Newport Road, and then heading this direction, you've got all of this area here and here. That's Audie Murphy. They built this part first, then they built this side. And then also a little bit right here too, kind of right. Oh, no, not right there. Right here. Sorry. Audie Murphy is another master plan community. Oh my gosh, you should see their pool and their clubhouse and the amenities that you have available. I mean, you literally feel like you're walking into a resort. It is really gorgeous. And it's just a really great community. And then I have just a few more I want to point out along here. So we talked about Audie Murphy, but also if you are heading back, let's see here, and Audie Murphy goes down there and continues to here. I want to show you evening. Okay, here we go. So right over here, you have a small community. It was built by Ryland, if I remember correctly. I have another video about this too. Orchid and Primrose. So one was the larger models and one was the smaller models, but they're all within the same gate. And then right at the center of the community, there's a pool and a small clubhouse, which really, I wouldn't even call it a clubhouse. It's like a room, and they've got a few workout machines and some books and things like that. But that's a small, intimate, immaculate community. I mean, it is immaculate, but it's very central. I mean, you're right off of Newport Road without the noise of it. It is by a school, so just be aware of that, but it's gated. So it definitely a fantastic neighborhood to consider. And then if you continue this way, this is where all of like your main hub shopping is. Then you have this area kind of here, which is the Menifee Town Center area. And there's a variety of different types of homes here. So if you like that kind of urban feel, which really we are in suburbia. I mean, you're probably completely laughing at me if you're moving from San Diego or LA or Orange County, but like urban for us, this is as urban as it gets, I guess. This Menifee Town Center area is a great place. It feels more busy. If you want to be able to walk to shops and things like that, that's a great place to live. And then I'm going to continue down. So remember we talked, we're going to go down, back over to that Marietta Road. Marietta Road, if you keep going down it, it's going to connect us to Scott Road. And remember, that was that first exit for Menifee. So if you carry down Murrieta Road, you have, I want to point out that in this area in general, you have tract neighborhoods, but then again, you have homes, you have some streets that are not paved. And you have where people bought dirt and they built their house, or they have a manufactured home, and they have horses or whatever. So there is really a variety of that way. You will either love that or you will not love that. So just be aware of that, just for the whole overall vibe. If you really want that feel of everything is pristine and everything looks like manicured, then you probably won't be drawn to this part of town. You might be drawn to a different part. But I have a couple more that I want to point out to you. So let's see here. We were talking about, okay, that's right. So in this area here, this is another really pretty neighborhood that was built. And this one is called that's not Shadow Mountain. I apologize. This one's called Hidden Hills. So Hidden Hills is over here. Shadow Mountain's up over that way. So this is another neighborhood. So that's what I'm saying. But then over here, you have a totally different thing. And then we talked about the rural properties that are all along there. And then you head back down to Scott Road. So, wow, you have a lot of variety, right? And it really just depends on, what's the vibe that you're looking for in a neighborhood? Or are you looking for non-55 plus or 55 plus? Are you commuting somewhere, or are you staying local? All of those things factor into play. It is so hard and so much work to do all of this on your own. Please don't do that. Save yourself the time. I love this stuff. You can tell I love nerding out on it, and I love helping people find what's right for them. So if you have a question about a part of town or taxes or things to do or anything at all, you can drop a comment below, or you can shoot me a text, or you can send me an email, and we can set a time where you can pick my brain more. Can't wait to help you. Thank you for spending time with me, and we'll see you on the next video.